Welcome from my side to this online info session. Thank you very much for taking your time and showing your interest in this International Master Program Packaging Technology and Sustainability. So what is going to happen within the next 45 minutes? We have an info presentation, meaning a PowerPoint presentation about hard facts and some frequently asked questions about our master program. And after this presentation, we will be happy to answer all your questions coming up to your mind. These questions you can write to the F&A tool. So it's for Fragen and Antworten, so question and answers. And in this tool, you can write your questions either during the presentation when anything comes into your mind, what was maybe not very clearly described by myself, or also afterwards. You can use this tool anytime during our info session. And I would really ask you to post your questions there. We will go through them after the presentation. Okay, I would like to introduce ourselves. We are here, myself, then Silke Wiesbauer, who is working in our secretary. She's doing all administrative things. And we also have Daniel here. Daniel is one of our master students. And now we would like to introduce ourselves just shortly, that you know who is talking to you during this approximately 1 hour. So my name is Sylvia Aprich. I'm head of the study degree programs at our institute here for packaging and resource management. And from my education, I'm a food scientist, meaning that I'm coming from another discipline than packaging technology. So I was educated in food science. Then I worked for about 16 to 70 years at the University of Natural Resources, the BOKU, in Vienna, in the area of research and also teaching. And 2015, I moved to the University of Applied Sciences here, the FH Campus Wien, as a teacher and researcher. And since 2019, I'm the head of the degree programs. So Silke, could you just introduce yourself quickly?
Hello, my name is Silke Wiesbauer. A warm greeting from me to you all. I'm the secretary of the study course of the bachelor and of the master program. And I guide you from your application to the graduation.
Thank you very much. Daniel, could you also
Yes. My name is Daniel Hummelberger. I'm also not from a packaging background. I did my bachelor in biomedical sciences and then decided to switch over to packaging. I'm currently in the 4th semester of the master degree, so close to the finish line, or almost in the 4th semester. And yeah, I'm also working part-time for 30 hours at the FH Campus Wien and for a private consulting company.
Thank you. So we dive into the contents of the presentation now. Our master program is located in the Department of Applied Life Sciences. So here at FH Campus Wien, we have 7 departments, and our department is the Applied Life Science department. And we are offering 2 bachelor's degree programs and 1 master degree program. The bachelor programs are taught in German. This is Verpackungstechnologie, meaning packaging technology. And the other one is Nachhaltiges Ressourcenmanagement, Sustainable Resource Management. But here in this info session, we are talking about the International Master Packaging Technology and Sustainability, which is, as well as our bachelor programs, a part-time study program. So to see the hard facts of this program, I show you this overview. The semester lasts for, the study program lasts for 4 semesters and has a total of 120 ECTS credits. That confers to the Bologna, meaning it is a regular master study program. The organizational form, unfortunately, I just recognized that this slide is in German, but I translated during telling you the facts. The organizational form is part-time, as I mentioned before, and I will explain to you what does that mean for you. The language of the program is English, and we are offering 26 study places per year. The degree you are graduated after completing the master program is a Master of Science in Engineering and MSc. And the fee, the tuition fee, which has to be paid for the program is 363 euros per semester. In case you come from a third country, meaning outside Europe, this amount would be doubled. And very important for you, as you are interested in our program, is the application period. And the application period for this academic year, or the upcoming academic year, is from 1st November 2020, meaning we have already started with the application process, and it ends on the 30th of June, this year. So you have still a couple of weeks to make your application. What are our pillars from the topic side of the program? So of course we are teaching in the pillar of packaging technology, obviously, and also in the pillar of sustainability. And we always try to find the connections between the two of them. Our program is really interdisciplinary because there is no pure discipline in packaging technology. So lots of different disciplines come together here that it's really important to work inter and also transdisciplinary. And we try to fulfill this requirement in our master program. Another pillar is the management thing. So if you are working in packaging, producing, or applying company, you also need strong skills in management. And the fourth pillar here is in science and research, meaning that we also want to provide fundamentals for working in research projects afterwards, or to work at universities, whatever, so that you really fit for working in the science area. What we also offer in our program is scientific English. For all those of you who are not so fluently in scientific English at the beginning of your study program, you will have the possibility to go deeper and to practice a lot in scientific English during the first year. We also offering a lot of courses giving you soft skills in the area of presentation techniques, moderation techniques, conflict techniques, whatever, and also in the area of leadership. So these would be the qualification targets for the professional field. Here you see a shortcut of the curriculum, given all courses which are offered at our university, but I will not go into detail here because this is an information you can find at our website, and there you can have a look at all courses in detail, seeing the contents, the learning outcomes, and maybe also the literature which is behind these courses. What I also would like to tell you is that our institute is very strong in research. So at the moment we are running here about 15 third-party funded research projects. That's really immense for our institute. We are at the moment 32 employees, and 4 years ago we have been 5. So just showing how this area is growing. So packaging is really of big importance at the moment, and there are so many companies who are supporting us in our work, and they need us to do research for them, so that they are always on point of state of the art. The admission. So if you come not from our bachelor degree packaging technology, then there are some criteria you have to fulfill. You have to have some background in natural sciences, in technological fields. For example, packaging technology can also be similar. You need a background in quality management and also in management. And if you fulfill this criteria, then you can directly start with your master program here. If there is a lack in any of these fields, then you can still gain the knowledge until the end of the first semester of the program. So if you have no skills now in packaging technology, that doesn't mean that you cannot start with the program, but that means that you have to take an additional course, which is also offered here at our institute. It's a crash course in packaging technology. And this contains courses in principles of packaging, about packaging materials, the legislative regulations in packaging, about sustainability in relation to packaging, and also about the filling techniques. So all these things you will be able to learn in the crash course, Packaging Technology Fundamentals. And this is a complete online course. We call it a MOOC, meaning that as soon as you get accepted here as a student, you will receive or you will be able to enter this online course, and then you can directly start in preparing yourself for the master program. Yeah, how is the admission procedure? What do you have to do? So if you are interested in starting your master program here, then please go to our website and apply online. After you have applied, you will receive or you will be notified which documents are necessary to hand in. And after we have received all documents, you will be contacted by Silke Wiesbauer, who is arranging a date for the online interview. And in this online interview, for me, it's really important to see your motivation. Why are you going to start this program? And also your motivation for the time after the master program. So what is really your plan? Why are you interested in studying this program? What do you want to do afterwards? So that's something important for me, and that we will discuss in the online interview. Another thing which will be part of the interview will be some knowledge questions, where I try to find out your knowledge in natural sciences, in packaging sciences, but also something like general education or logical thinking. And there we will have some single and multiple choice question within our interview. And the ranking is 60% for your personality and your motivation in the interview, and 40% for the knowledge questions. The career prospects. So what are you going to do afterwards? Of course, you will have an overview of the most important packaging materials and interdisciplinary know-how in this field. Yeah, so you will be able to tell the company which materials are suitable for which applications and so on. You will be able to work in the production of packaging materials, but you will also be it will also be possible for you to work in the companies who apply the packaging, meaning food companies. Yes, most of the big food companies already have their own packaging sections. You will be able to work as a packaging designer, so for different cases, designing different packagings. You will also be able to work in consulting agencies, for example. You can work in technical purchase, in technical sales, but also in the divisions for quality assurance, testing and product safety of the packaging applying companies. So all this will be possible. And the companies where you can work, they will be really along the whole chain. So from the production of the material until the disposal. So we always look also during our program for the whole life cycle of a packaging material, starting from the production over the application to the use and then the disposal and recycling of packaging. Some questions which always come up, I listed here, and I try to just briefly summarize the most important answers. So one question is always about our location. We are located at the moment in the 3rd district of Vienna, but we will move to the 10th district in 1 or 2 years, meaning that the location might change during your master studies here at our institute. Going back here is we always have questions about compatibility of work and study. I will come to that back later. Maybe one question which often comes is about field trips. And here I would like to tell you that we are always very engaged in organizing field trips to the industry, to different companies. That's really a strength of our section also, that we have so much companies which work together with us, that we always have the possibility to go to their production sites and have a look in detail. Of course, at the moment, this is not possible, so we have to postpone all our field trips from one semester to the other, but hopefully beginning in autumn, we can start again with our excursions and field trips. About the master thesis, maybe one question that comes up. The master thesis has to be done in the last semester of the master program. And here we expect you that you are able to work scientifically on a selected topic. That means that you not just write a review of existing literature, but that you really do some experimental work. That doesn't have to be in the lab. It can also use other tools, but there really has to be a scientific aspect in your work. For study abroad, at the moment we're strongly working in widening, strengthening our partner network, especially with other universities, and we were very successful over the last years. So we have partnerships within Europe, but we also have one partnership in California at the San Jose State University. And in Europe, we have universities in Germany, in Switzerland, in Finland, in Sweden, one in Denmark. So we have really a lot of partners now all around Europe, also in Spain, for example, or in Italy. And if you want to do a study abroad, you're very welcome to do that, especially during your last semester, during the master thesis semester. That would be your window of opportunity to go abroad. Yeah, what I did not tell you now is the thing about the part-time program, and I want to do it now. Part-time means that we do not have a daily attendance at our university. So you do not come here every day, but you have 4 blocks per semester for 3 to 5 days each. And at these days, all the lectures in presence take place. And then you come here, in case we do not have pandemics, you come here to our lecture rooms, you meet with us, with your peers, and you work on different topics in physical presence. And all the time in between these attendance blocks, you work online, and we're using the e-learning platform Moodle. And there you will also have to fulfill different tasks. during the semester, meaning that you maybe learn for a short Moodle test, or that you answer some guiding questions we ask you, giving you some literature, you read the literature, then you answer the questions, or maybe you write seminar papers, or you prepare presentations, or you work on different concepts, whatever. That can be very diverse. But you will not only learn on the attendance days, but also in between. Yeah, I think I said the most important things. We have it, what means a part-time program. Another thing for part-time that is maybe also important for you is that it means it is possible to combine work and study, but it's not a prerequisite, meaning it's not necessary that you're already working in the field of packaging. You can also come directly from another bachelor program without a job, and you find your job during the master program here. So it's not necessary that you are already an employee in the packaging industry. Last thing for the application procedure, so please apply online, send all documents, then you get a date for the interview, and where we also have the test questions, and the information, if you are accepted for a study place or not, can be provided not before mid of July, unfortunately, because our application period only ends at the end of June, and then we will have still some interviews, some online interviews, and then we need some time for do the ranking. And after we have done everything, you will receive the email telling you if you have the study place or not. Yeah, so if there are more questions, we will be very happy to answer it. But before we do that, I would have some questions for Daniel to bring in here more the view of a student. And I'm just searching for my questions. I have it here. Yes, as Daniel told you before, he doesn't come from our bachelor program, but from a different one. So Daniel, how did you experience the start into our master program?
I think if you have a scientific background and are interested into packaging and sustainability in general, it is possible to catch up. Sylvia told you about the crash course you have to do if you have no packaging background, which is 15 ECTS. And of course, in the first semester, it's a little bit more time consuming because you have to do an additional 15 ECTS, but you get the base knowledge of packaging and sustainability aspects. And the base knowledge is enough to at least catch up, understand the lectures, and the lecturers try to keep it in a way that everybody can come along and work on topics, even if they don't have the perfect packaging knowledge, the packaging knowledge a bachelor student would have. So don't be scared if you don't have a packaging background. You can catch up in the first semester, and the courses in the first semester can be finished, and you will learn a lot of things in the first semester with the crash course and the other lectures to catch up to the bachelor students. So I would say it's quite possible, but you have to know that you have to do a little bit extra work to catch up and be interested in the field and try to do some work on your own to be able to close the gap.
Thank you, Daniel. And I would have a second question. So besides your studies, you're also working. How is it possible to combine studying and working and still having a life balance?
Due to the attendance blocks, you have a lot of time to do the time management on yourself. So you only have 3 to 5 days a month of attendance, and the work in between you can kind of choose for yourself when you want to do it. There are people who do the tasks at the moment they got them, and other people who don't. And I work 30 hours right now. I have also worked 35 in the first 2 semesters. And of course, there are stressful times, especially close to exams or close to major seminar papers. It can be quite stressful. But if you work with a kind of proper time management and do the tasks as quickly as possible and don't wait for the last moment of your task. It is possible to work besides. I think 20 hours and studying would be the perfect fit. So you have a good work-life balance and can do some other stuff in your free time as well. But we have other students in our program who are working full-time, 40 hours and even more, and are still able to do the tasks, but I wouldn't ask them about their work-life balance right now. But it's totally doable. You get the task, most of the tasks beforehand and have a really long time to fulfill them. And if you just plan accordingly and have some kind of proper time management, you will have a good work-life balance with studying, working, and having time for yourself as well.
Thank you, Daniel. And now to close our session and our presentations, do you have any recommendations, any tips for newcomers?
I would just recommend, I mean, it's, I think the same for every study program in the world. Try to be open and participate and be active in classes. The more you learn during the lectures and presentations, the less you have to learn for the exams. The more you understand, the less you have to learn by heart. And in our study program, most courses are split between exams and other work. So the exam most of the time only takes up 40% of the grade, and the other 60% can be achieved through seminar papers, homeworks, presentations, group works, and other tasks. And if you do all the tasks in the semester properly and try to get as many points as possible, the final exams are a lot less stressful when you know, okay, I only need a few points to pass, and if I want to have a good grade, I have to do a little bit more. It's a more or less stressful than if you know, oh, I skipped 2 of the assignments beforehand, and now I have to ace the exam to even pass the course. So if you do all the tests which you have been assigned to, then and learn during the lectures, you will have a quite good time here.
Thank you very much. So now we come to your questions, and I see that we already have some in our chat. So maybe I read out the questions loud, and then we decide who of the 3 of us will be the most suitable one to answer it. The first one, is this going to be a coursework MC, or will there be a thesis? I think I answered it in the last part of my presentation, but I will, of course, explain it again. So yes, you will have to write a thesis. The thesis is in your 4th semester, and the thesis has really to include an experimental part or scientific part where you show that you are able to work in a scientific way. That's included. Here I have a longer question. I'm really interested in studying this master in Vienna, and I'm a little worried about time because I spoke with the consulate here in Quito. Okay, and they told me that I need at least 6 months to proceed my visa, and another 4 months may be needed until residence permit is processed. So how long would it take to apply today until I have exception or the rejection letter? Yeah, that's a pity. I understand completely that for you it's very difficult to receive the visa in time. We had this also several times. What I could offer in this case is that you apply for this year and you run through the whole application process. And if you perform very well, then we could accept you for the program in the next year, but then I would really need a very good performance in the application process. So then if that is the case, that you really show me you're so motivated and it's so important for you to do this program, and you also have a basic knowledge in the requested fields, then we could try to give you an exception for the academic year 2020-23. I hope I answered that sufficiently. May I know the equipment facilities you have for packaging research? Yes, I can try, but I'm sure that I do not have everything in mind. Maybe Daniel, you can help me if I forget any instruments. So our newest instrument is an RTR spectroscopy, where we get also a microscope next week, which we can use to analyze not only the inner and the outer layer of packaging materials, but also all the layers in between. So if you have multi-layer packaging, then you can really qualify and quantify the layers in between with the microscope. Then, of course, we have a Zwick. I don't know how is that in English, but it's an instrument to analyze tensile strength and all mechanical properties of packaging materials. Then we have a Klimaschrank. I don't know the English word. We have a heatable container, where you can also set moisture and light to do some storage testing. Then in our equipments, we have a vacuumizer, we have a sealing instrument, we have a polariscope. So that's what's in our instruments room. Did I miss anything? And of course, we have a lot of creativity things to design packaging prototypes. And then we have our Microbiological and Chemical Lab. And this is a usual lab as it is in this area. But there we also doing in vitro assays. A lot for the safety assessment of packaging materials. So this is one of our main focuses here, to assess safety of packaging. You know, in connection with migration migration issues. Yes. So these are, we have hand NIR things to go into the field with it and check packagings directly at, for example, disposal sites. Yeah, I think that's what came up to my mind firstly, but I'm sure that I forgot some of the instruments.
But I think you covered the most important ones.
Thank you. Okay. If there are more candidates than 26 in the program, will you be able to expand the number of spots? So yeah, the 26 places which are offered here are the ones which are financed by our federal ministry. But we always start with around 30 students, 30 to 32. I like to keep it small because I think that it doesn't make sense to expand the number of students to a bigger amount. It's better for the quality of our programs to run programs with approximately 30 students. But we can, if we have really more than 30 students who are excellent, then we will start with more than 30. It always depends. Is it possible to fast track the 2-year program into 1.5 years? It's not foreseen, I have to say. Daniel, what would you say from the workload?
I think if you are not working at all, it could be possible, but you would have to mix some courses from the first semester and the third semester, and then mix second semester and master thesis at the same time without having completed some other courses. So I would say it would be really difficult to fit it all. And a lot of those lectures are simultaneous because the first semester and the third semester have kind of simultaneous courses and simultaneous tasks you have to do. So if you would find a way, I would be impressed, but I don't think it would be very easy, especially not if you work besides it. If you are not working and are only focusing on the study program, there might be a way, but you would have to be very creative to achieve this.
Yeah, I would stress that. And on the other hand, it's from the administrative aspect, it would also be almost impossible to arrange everything for 1.5 years, I think. Because also in the semester for the master thesis, you have some courses to do. You have to do some elective courses, and you have to do the final packaging development and design course. So I don't think that it's possible. Does the university provide health insurance for students? No, we don't. So with the tuition fee and the Beitrag, you get an insurance for, how is it called, for accidents which happen to you while you are studying, but it's not a health insurance. So students do not get that. You have to take care for that by yourself. How exactly is the knowledge test constructed? Multiple choice questions or open questions? These are just multiple or even single choice questions, so no open questions. We will discuss some questions during our interview, but for the knowledge questions, you have only single or multiple choice questions. And you can prepare yourself with the literature which will be given to you during the application process. So we can give you some recommendations how you can prepare for the test. If pandemic will continue, then it could be possible to start online. Yes, but you know, it's so difficult to tell how the pandemic will develop within the next month. So I cannot give any fixed dates when we will start again with presence lectures. I'm very sorry, but we now at the moment we have to handle from month to month. It's not possible to plan more than maybe 2 months in advance. But I cannot tell you if you will start online in September or if we will start in presence. Sorry, that's really out of my possibilities. Does the college also offer help in job placement? Yes, so what we do is that we always send job advertisements to our students, which we receive from our partner companies. So we have a big network of companies which are working with us, and every time they searching for new positions in their companies, they write us and then we spread it among students. But of course, we do not seek jobs for single students. But we support it, yeah, by keeping them up to date about job offers in the partnering companies. And sometimes it's also possible to apply at our institute as a researcher in one of our research projects. For an international student, is the course available online? So I'm not sure which course exactly you are talking about now. If you mean the packaging fundamental course, which is an online course, it's online for everybody. And if you talk about all the other courses, then only the assignments are done online, but for the lectures themselves, you have to be here in presence. That will not be, if we are allowed to do presence lectures again, then it's mandatory to come here. If not, of course, you can join online. The career perspectives with an MEC, packaging technology and sustainability in Austria, I would say, are quite good. As I've shown you before, we are really working hard to fulfill all the answers, the questions coming from the industry. The industry is really seeking for experts in packaging technology, especially with a strong relation to sustainable packaging. So at the moment, the career perspectives are very good. Most of our students, if they are not an employee in the industry when they start, then they find their jobs during the program. Next question. I'm interested in developing a circular packaging design guideline for my country, just like the one FH Campus Wien has developed. Will enrolling in this program help me with this? Of course, the program will help you and support you in doing such activities. I'm not sure if it's possible to develop the same guideline for another country on the same standard and quality, because on our guideline, it was not only one person working, but it was a big team working on the development of this guideline. But it was one of our core focuses over the last 2 years. So of course, this is also something which is covered in our master program. What is the average fail percentage of students for the whole program? So it depends, I would say. Daniel, failing in lectures is not very usual.
Yeah, I would say failing, so like not passing courses if you're really trying to, is seldom. So not a lot of students who are working actively, doing all the works and learning for the exams are failing, but some students fail to do their work and studying together and then stop the program or postpone the program or just don't have the time to learn or do the tasks, and then you can fail. So I would say the students who fail are rather those who cannot do not have the time because they're working. But if you put in the time, due to the fact that the whole grade is consisted of tasks and exam, it is not that likely to fail the course. Good grades are also not that easy to achieve, but failing with all the work you can do is rather difficult.
Thank you. Then I have a question which I unfortunately do not understand very well. Maybe the others can help me. Which courses is presently online in English for packaging?
I have to admit.
Could you discuss in detail?
I mean, the whole master course is in English, so each lecture is in English, the master thesis is in English.
But I have to stress here again, maybe it's not an online course. At the moment, we are teaching online and doing everything online. But in real life, when the pandemic is gone, it's not an online course. It's really a physical course here at FH Campus Wien, even if it's not only part-time. So it's not a daily course, but it's not an online course. We had already students coming from India or Egypt or wherever, and they were flying in for our presence blocks, attendance blocks. They came once a month for 5 days, stayed here, and then they went back to their countries again. So it's not online. Is the course considered to be valid in countries other than Austria? Yes, of course. The degree you receive, the Master in Science of Engineering, the MSc, is valid all over the world. So it's not an Austrian program, it's a Bologna-conform program, which is accepted at least within the whole EU, but from my experience, also outside the EU. So it's not a degree which is valid only in Austria. What is the ratio of laboratory work to lectures? Laboratory work in our part-time program is not a big part. So you have approximately in the whole program 4 days in the lab. So that's what we do in the lab. And it's most of them goes to the course packaging testing. Yeah. What is the average job placement ratio after completion of the course? It's also difficult to answer because as we have a lot of international students, many of them, they go back to their home countries when they finish the program, and then I have no idea what they do afterwards. But for the students or the graduates who stay in Austria, it's a very good situation at the moment, and we always read in the newspapers that the industry is really seeking for experts, even if we have that high number of non-working people at the moment. Does the course being part-time hinder availing jobs in Austria for an international student? I don't think so. It's, in my opinion, it depends on the clear communication with the company. So most companies are very interested in having employees who are willing to learn, yeah, and to develop themselves further. So I don't see it as a disadvantage if you are seeking for a job and you are enrolled in a master program. I would see it beneficial for every company. But of course, that has to be discussed with the people there. I can't decide that. Is there accommodation available for international students? The FH Campus Wien at the moment is building a student's home. So beginning in 2020, there will be a hostel for students at our campus in the 10th district. At the moment, we do not have that. There are hostels at the main station, which is not far away from our place. And of course, there is an organization, the ÖAD, which can be supportive in finding an apartment or any other kind of accommodation. But in the end, it's a self-responsibility for the students to find a place where they can stay, especially if they stay for 2 years. So we have more support here for people who only come for a week. But if you stay for longer times, then you have to take care for yourself. Although the master is in English, is there the possibility of having German classes? I think that the FH is offering German as a language. So it's not our institute who is doing that, but it's a service from FH Campus Wien in the main building in the 10th district. Daniel, do you or Silke, do you know anything more about the German classes offered here? But there are possibilities. I heard that some incoming students enrolled in a German class at FH Campus Wien. So it's not within our curriculum, but besides, you can do German classes.
They inform us sometimes in June that they offer German classes in the summer holidays.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What the permitted work hours for an international student? I'm sorry, I can't answer that because that's something which is regulated by law. But I think it also depends if you are if you have a student visa or if you have the Rot-Weiß-Rot card here in Austria. So there are a lot of different kind of visas, and the permission for working is always related to the kind of visa you have. So if you have a student visa, I think you are only allowed to work about 8 hours a week, meaning that you do not earn more than 450 euros a month. But that it's only for a student visa. If it's an another type of visa, it might be completely different. Yeah, oh, there comes another one. What is the percentage of students coming from the packaging related BSc that makes the packaging technology and sustainability MSc? It also differs, I have to say. So when we started in the first year, we had 2/3 of the students coming from our bachelor program, from the bachelor program packaging technology. But in the last year, for example, it was only 50%. And I expect the next year to be even less. So for next year, I calculate approximately 40% of the students coming from our bachelor program, 60% coming from outside, because the program is getting more and more popular and yeah, more visible also. So in the beginning, of course, it was not quite recognized that there is a master in packaging technology, but it becomes better. Yeah, and I think the amount of the students coming from outside the FH Campus Wien will grow. I've completed my bachelor in printing engineering. Is it valid? I cannot tell you that just by hearing the title of your bachelor degree. I would need to have your transcript of records, and then I can decide if it's if you fulfill the requirements. So from the first impression, I would say yes, of course, but I have to take a deeper look. So if you apply and send your documents, then I can assess that in detail. Okay, so I would like to close this session. Thank you very, very much for your interest, for your questions. I'm very happy that you joined our online session. I would also like to say thank you to Daniel and Silke for supporting me and to the technical support in the background. And yeah, we will have the next info session, hopefully not online, but who can say that? It's impossible at the moment. So to all of you, thank you again. Have a nice evening, and yeah, hope to read your applications soon. Bye.